Well, howdy, y'all. Rudrani Davy, the happiness lady, coming from Nashville, Tennessee, to wherever you be. Thank you for joining me today. Um, I'm going to introduce you guys to a new tool today. Well, it's not new. It's actually been around for about 30, maybe 35 years. Access Consciousness has come up with amazing tools to navigate your life. And I wrote a little book that have these amazing tools in it. So, the one I'd like to talk to you today about choosing happiness, by the way, an uncommon way to find joy in your life. This little guy's like holding on for dear life, stick figure guy. See him? All right. So, the tool I'm going to talk about today is like Access 101. It's one of the very first tools that I ever learned, and now would be considered an oldie but a goodie. Perhaps it's new for you, perhaps it's not. And I'm actually going to read from this little yellow book because I wrote a whole chapter about interesting point of view. Okay. So here we go. Follow along if you have a book with you. I don't know. Everything is just an interesting point of view. Chapter 5. That would be page 33, y'all. Here's a question I like that my mentor, Gary Douglas, throws out as a proverbial wedgie. Do you want to learn to have freedom, or do you want to pretend that you want freedom? This question is being asked of the being who has decided that they are a victim and have no way out. Interesting point of view, isn't it? And that leads to my next tool towards finding joy. Everything is just an interesting point of view. If you didn't have a point of view about anything in your life, what would your life be like? If you didn't place significance on how you think things should be or look like, what could that possibly create for you, your life, your living, right? What if we were more like our dogs and cats about our points of view? When a pet gets hurt, do you think they have a point of view about it? Really? Interesting point of view if you have that point of view. But how many people do you know who continuously live from a moment in their life when they got hurt or sick and identify with their point of view about what happened to the point that they can't seem to move beyond it? Do you know some folks like that? I know a few, quite a few actually. I can relate. I remember I remember when my husband left me 2 days after my knee surgery because in his words, he didn't ask for this. That really happened. Hmm. He was referring to me getting shot by terrorists and needing to be cared for. Oh yeah, you might want to Google my name and Mumbai terrorist attack if you don't know this story already, okay? And it's in the beginning of the book. So I'm going to keep going. Follow along if you have the little yellow book. Here we go. He was referring to me getting shot by terrorists and needing to be cared for. In his interesting point of view, that wasn't something he signed up for when we got married. In sickness and in health didn't include my wife may never walk again. His closing line before he walked out the door was, if you had died in India, I would have loved you forever. Interesting point of view, don't you think? Sorry, I couldn't work that out for him. Not sorry. I did walk again and eventually got full use of my right leg. But in the meantime, the interesting takeaway I came to was that all men suck. Interesting point of view. I had that point of view. As we know, not all men suck, but that was my point of view for quite a while on my journey to healing my body fully. I couldn't even look at the opposite sex. I assumed they all had the same propensity to leave when the going got tough. Interesting point of view. I had that point of view. These feelings were exacerbated when, shortly after leaving me, he impregnated his girlfriend and got married. He now has 2 children. I believe that's still the case. Still married, that is. I don't know. How did I get out of that no choice reality of men suck? Well, in using the tool interesting point of view, I have this point of view. I realized that my point of view was creating an option I could not seem to overcome. If I could get to the point of no point of view, I knew I could create something greater. That men suck point of view was not going to contribute to me, and was, in fact, going to keep me stuck in judgment of not only men, but of myself should I decide to consider romantic relationships again. Can you sense how limiting that is? I mean, seriously. And the thing is you kind of set yourself up if you've already decided that all men suck, ladies, or that all women suck, gentlemen. Um, you're going to keep recreating that over and over and over again. You know, it's like Einstein said, insanity is choosing the same thing over and over again and expecting it to turn out differently. Mm, interesting point of view, right? So, yeah, so you can sense how limiting that could be. And it couldn't possibly be true. After all, two of my favorite men in the world were such a contribution to me that the word suck couldn't possibly apply to them. I'm speaking of the two men I dedicated this book to, Gary M. Douglas and Dr. Dane Here. They co-created Access Consciousness, and these tools I'm sharing with you in this book that got me back to my true nature of being a happy being again. Interesting point of view. I have this point of view is about knowing what's true for you. It gets you to the place where you don't have to buy into anybody's reality. Just because it's their point of view does not make it real or true for you. Feel me? Why would you want to make something in someone else's world significant in your world? And if you choose to not make anything significant in your world, only perceiving it as an interesting point of view, imagine the freedom you could feel. It's like what Gary was saying in the beginning of the book. You know, would you rather be right or would you rather be free? What if you could just say, interesting point of view, I have that point of view. Something that works for them may not be something that works for you. Okay, genius? That's pretty easy assessment. If it's light, maybe it has something to consider. If it's heavy, it's a no-brainer, move on, right? You don't have to align and react. You don't have to align and agree or resist and react. You can just go, oh, you know what? They have the right to their point of view, just like I got the right to my point of view. Just because it's their point of view, hey, maybe it works for them. Doesn't mean it works for you. Doesn't mean it works for me. What works for me may not work for you. We make things in our lives important so that we can judge them. And with that, we can dismiss them. Isn't that cute? Did I really want to spend the rest of my life dismissing the male population? No. That definitely wasn't going to work for me. So, yeah. I think that's enough of reading. There's quite a bit more to this chapter, but let me go a little freeform on you. Interesting point of view has gotten me out of so many situations. You know, even compliments. You know, it's funny because a compliment is also a judgment. You know, it's their point of view, and it could also be a manipulation. You looking hot today, Rudrani. Now, as much as I like that comment, it is still a judgment. And perhaps, I don't know, maybe there is an agenda involved attached to that. You looking mighty fine. Can I take you out to dinner? Can I sleep with you now? You know, things like that. Or it could be like, you know, the other day I was in Talbot's with my mama. We went shopping. It was having a sale. And I tried on this dress. And it's very colorful. I really like lots of color. I like to wear lots of color, you know, popping colors. And this dress is, well, and some people would say in this reality, quite loud. And I put it on and I thought, wow, this is a mighty fine looking dress. And I went out into the store because I was grabbing something else for Celeste. She wanted to try a different dress on that we both had looked at. She didn't like the one she had put on. And as I'm coming out of the dressing room, one of the women, and it was so funny because she said, now I don't want to work. How did she put it? Because I don't work on commission, but I just want to tell you that dress looks amazing on you. Now, did she have an agenda? She doesn't get commission. You know, it wouldn't make any difference whether I bought the dress or not. They just make an hourly wage. You know, she's a team player, perhaps for Talbot's. Happen to really like Talbot's. So, you know, I looked at that energy and I was like, you know, well, Well, thank you very much, I said. And I thought it's would be considered a judgment and perhaps a manipulation if there was something that she was gonna gain in her world. But in this case, I could sense that she was just paying me a compliment. Did it work? It did. I did buy the dress. I have lots of dresses. Did I need another dress? Mm. Did I need another flowery dress? Mm. Did I need a flowery, loud dress? Well, my nephew's having a wedding soon, and now I have a beautiful summer dress that I can wear to his outdoor wedding. Now, where did I go with interesting point of view? She could have also said, I wouldn't, I like that dress, but not for you, right? Interesting point of view. She has that point of view. Interesting point of view. I have that point of view about her point of view. Can you see how that can kind of untangle you from all the things? So that's just kind of a little real life scenario about how you can use that tool. And here's another way. Let's say, you've got a family member that is just making your butt itch. Okay. They're trying to convince you that their way is the way you should be doing something. All right. And they're dead set, hard pressed, trying to get you to align and agree with their point of view. For example, I have family members that are always saying they're praying for me. And it used to make my butt itch. Like, they were kind of being an asshole as if I didn't go to church or whatever it was, that I was going to go to hell in a handbasket, something like that, right? And don't get me wrong. I am connected. Trust me. If you could see, that's the Blessed Mother over there. I've got mm, I don't know if you can see him up there. Well, I'm having a hard time. Oh, there he is. Kind of next to that bright light. Right up there in the corner. That would be my Ganesha. And I have an altar behind me too that's also full of, icons and things like that. So, I have things that I'm connected to. Not what my family's connected to. They happen to be Catholic and Mormon. So that works for them. Interesting point of view. Doesn't work for me. So what I finally got to was, hey, you know what? Maybe that's the best they can do. And so now when they say, I'm praying for you, I'm like, thank you. I'll take those prayers. Thank you very much. And what if you could just be grateful for them for being, regardless? Hey, they care for me in their way. Maybe not in, a way that I would see as necessarily caring, but it's genuine for them. Interesting point of view. They have that point of view that I'm going to go to hell in a handbasket. Interesting point of view that I have that point of view about their point of view being the right way or the wrong way. What if it was just their point of view and nothing else? They are totally entitled to their point of view. And I'll give you one more. I have a client who's she's got two girls that play volleyball. One of them got a partial scholarship, I believe, and the other one's working towards it. And so every weekend, the good parent taking her to all these competitions. And her husband finally had a comment of, I don't know why you guys can't stay at a Motel 6, or Motel 8. I don't know what it is now. I think 6 used to stand for $6 and 8 used to stand for $8, and they don't go for that anymore. Anyway, I digress. And she says, he's really raining on our parade. He doesn't understand why we aren't staying in these cheap hotels. It's really ruining it for us. And I said, what if you just let him be entitled to his opinion? And you stay in the nicer hotel anyway. Interesting point of view. He has that point of view. Interesting point of view. You have that point of view about his point of view. His point of view is really going to destroy your day? Really? Can you see where we let significance stick us? So I got a little home play for you. For every thought, feeling, and emotion that you have that comes up in your world that makes you resist and react or align and agree or, feel like a total piece of shit or whatever it is, or righteous. Interesting point of view. I have that point of view. And let me tell you, if you do that for every thought, feeling, and emotion you have, anytime your body gets stirred up for like 3 days, your world's going to change. You'll start noticing the things that used to stir you up don't stir you up anymore. At least that's how it was for me, you know? Everywhere where you've had that need to go into a reactive reality, could you give that up now, please? And, all the places where you've allowed it to stick you in these situations. What if you could just instead say, interesting point of view. I have this point of view. Give it a try. And I'll see you next Monday for another tool from this little yellow book. And yeah, you can get your own copy. If you look at the little banner below, it'll show you how you can. And that's all I got for you now. Thanks for playing. And if you have any comments, please leave them below. I do read them all, respond to them, all the things. Sure do appreciate you. So take care until next time. Ciao, ciao for now.